Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our agenda. Mr. Dahman, are you aware of any changes?
No changes to the agenda.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Motion from Karen, seconded by Rick, to approve the agenda as you see it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda is approved. Action on the minutes. Those are also included for you.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from our meetings on December 9th, 2019, our special meeting on December 18th, 2019, and January 6th, 2020.
Second.
Thank you. Motion from Diamond, seconded by Tom, to approve the minutes from those three meetings that Diamond indicated. Any questions on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Minutes are approved. And Mr. Pierce, action on the vouchers.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve Fund 10 vouchers totaling $1,278,185.95 and Building Fund vouchers totaling $235,532.69 as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion from Mike, seconded by Diamond, to approve the vouchers as he just indicated. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The vouchers are approved. Public participation. I picked up the sheet at the back of the room that has no one signed up. Does anybody wish to address the board tonight? Otherwise, if you would pass that to Kim, please, we will move beyond that. Student Council report, Mr. Stuckey. And oh, by the way, you need to know that Miles was selected as the Rotary Student of the Month, I believe. Is that true? Janesville Rotary. Congratulations, Miles.
Thank you. I have to apologize. I'd love to talk to you guys. I really wish I did, but we have not had any meetings still. I'm not quite sure what's up with that, but hopefully by the next board meeting we'll have plenty to talk about.
Just FYI, Students of the Month have to give a speech.
I know. I'll have plenty to talk about for that.
Okay, thank you, Miles. Okay, building and department announcements. Does anyone have anything to share with us there? Make your way to the podium, please, if you do.
Is that on? Well, yes.
There you go.
That is on. I'm going to back up. On the K3 front, I want to give a huge shout out to our staff in all of our K3 buildings, not just our teaching staff, but our support staff. It is assessment season. So in the K3 level, we do assessments all year long, of course. But we do a lot of extra assessing this time of year because it's the end of the semester this week. And so our teachers really, when they come back from break, they really have to buckle down with students. At our level, our students aren't independent. You can't just have them all sit down and do an assessment all at the same time and lickety-split, they're done in an hour and you have great results. At our level, it's a lot of one-on-one testing, so it takes a lot of time and effort. So a huge shout out to our staff. It is a very unusual schedule for them and for our students. We use those results not only to inform parents of the progress of their students on our standards, but also to help us shape where we're headed for the second semester. So it's kind of nice timing. We have a PD day on Monday, and we'll do some of that work planning out our second semester together, and all of that good assessment information on our students being fresh. That'll really help us make a good plan for our students. So thank you.
Good evening. At the high school, we are in finals week. So today actually is the last day of first semester classes, and then we have exams tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. So students have morning exams each of the next 3 days. So students have been preparing for those. Staff then Friday and then Monday are preparing, not just looking at first semester data, but then also preparing for the courses for next year. Also like to just make an announcement. This weekend on Saturday is the Show Choir Invitational. So we have a small army of parents are going to be descending upon the building, and close to 2,500 participants and spectators will be here on Saturday to see, I believe it's 24, 25 schools that are going to be here. It's not going to snow at all. They're wrong in the forecast. Fingers crossed. So yeah, but that is on Saturday.
Mr. Lyons, before you speak, I guess this is the best place I would like to do this simply because it's high school related. I don't know if any of you were able to attend the holiday concert on December 11th this year, but I really need to give a tremendous shout out to Mr. Milhorn, Eric Meinertz, and the whole choir department. They have a new choir and it's called Expressivo. And that choir, if you were not there, is made up of, I don't even know, 10, 12, 15 of our special needs students. And it was phenomenal. I had goosebumps on the 11th. People I've talked to about, even talking about it now, I'm still getting goosebumps. And one of the things that really impressed me about this is I know that Ryan Ruggles is taking a look at our curriculum, and we're taking a look at things through the lens of equality versus equity, and inclusion and exclusion. And if you want a prime example of inclusion and equity, this is it. There were student participants in the other choirs that assisted the students that were in Expressivo to do an awesome performance. And to see their faces and the applause and the standing ovations that they got was just phenomenal.
Thank you, Kara. Big applause though to the instructor Declan Borden Rogotsky, one of our new ID teachers, who that was really his vision. He worked with Eric Meinertz and Jameson Winlet to make sure that happened. So Declan did a great job with that.
Just a couple updates for the board from Northside. We had our second Hawk Huddle event when we came back from winter break. I want to give a shout out to our positive behavior team for organizing the activities. The vision behind it is we get our 4th, 5th, and 6th graders in vertical teams and really focus on building community across grade level wings in our school. And it's been really neat to see our 6th graders take on a leadership role in supporting our 4th graders. We completed an escape room, so those are in vogue right now if anybody's ever done that before. And it was pretty entertaining to see. My group, the Soaring Lions, we did not escape the room, so we were trapped. But the kids had a great time. It was super fun. I also wanted to highlight our opportunity time before school. We just started a new batch of students getting extra help with reading comprehension before school. And we also had our Mindful Mondays group start this week, so really focused on that social emotional learning. And next week we're going to start with our students that need extra help in the area of math. So again, this is all staff before school, extra time and extra effort from our students as well. So I want to highlight that for the board.
All right, good evening everybody. At the middle school, January is a huge month for us to start some new extracurricular activities. So specifically in the area of relationships, climate, culture, have about 100 students total who are participating in a combination of our musical, which is going to be Peter Pan Jr. this spring, girls basketball, forensics, as well as wrestling. So great to see all those middle schools involved in the school. In the area of teaching and learning, myself and a bunch of our teachers are going to Sun Prairie on Wednesday to check out their 8th and 9th grade middle school, upper middle school, as they dive into some personalized learning efforts. That's all in an effort to kind of bring back some ideas in our building to increase student engagement. So we're looking forward to that as well. Finally, also on Wednesday, we're sending a couple handfuls of students to our math meet. Our math team at the middle school has been working very hard, an extremely competitive team, a very high achieving team, so we're looking forward to that on Wednesday as well.
I want to share a kind of a warm story that happened just before Christmas. The Student Services team is blessed over and over again with partnerships with the community. So we have a great partnership with the Chamber of Commerce, who does some great things for our families. The food pantry, Shop with a Cop. The Thursday before break, somebody dropped off 7 brand new bicycles to DO. They had the tags on, some of them had training wheels. Every single one was brand spanking new and just beautiful. So the Student Services team, Thursday night and Friday, found 7 families to take these bicycles home. And so 7 families that would not have gotten much of a gift because one individual dropped these bicycles off at 5 o'clock at district office. It's just a reflection of how this community truly believes and supports in our children, and they find different ways to show that support. So thank you to the anonymous donator who dropped those bikes off. We're checking cameras though.
I just wanted to give a quick update on the funds from the referendum. As you know, we've been receiving interest on those funds, and we just supplied a new draw schedule as we look at the timing of our different projects. It changes how much of that money we have to make available versus in a more long-term interest-bearing account. And we did get some updates on our interest earnings so far. So I just wanted to give the board an update that from the time that we sold those bonds until now, we've earned a little bit over $400,000 in interest, and the average rate of return has been just a shade over 2%. Now there still is a considerable amount of money that's still earning interest, and at the next board meeting we are planning to give the board an update on not only what we've earned so far, but what our estimated earnings are over the entire course of that project. So that's kind of a to date where we are right now. And then the other thing that I wanted to do is, even before your presentation, thank the great group that we have here from Milton East, and we're looking forward to hearing from you on the wonderful things that are going on at Milton East Elementary.
Okay, thank you for all the building announcements then, and as the segue highlighted by Mr. Dahman indicates, we are up to our next school spotlight, and as he indicated, it is Milton East, so welcome to everyone from East that came to join us tonight. We're thrilled that you're here, and Ms. Kramer, would you take it away?
I will do. First thing I'd like to do is turn the microphone on and then thank the board for this opportunity to highlight Milton East. You know, we try to do it in snippets here at the podium once a month, but it's nice to charge me with doing a little homework to learn about the history of Milton East. And so thank you for that, and then of course thank you to my staff for coming tonight to help spotlight Milton East. All right, one of the first things that I noticed, and it was very clear and powerful to me, as I was gathering some photos and information about Milton East and the history, it was interesting to see the amount of stakeholders and voices that have taken part in the successes that we have had over the years at Milton East. And so speaking of voices, I thought it would be important for our board to just quickly put names and faces of people here. So I'm going to pass the microphone, starting with you.
I'm Andrew Peterson, 3rd grade.
Maria Hirsch, 3rd grade. Danielle Markle, I'm the school psychologist.
Leslie Brissett, 1st grade.
Donna Steiner, speech therapist. Angie Newey, kindergarten. Renee Smith, kindergarten.
Christy, special education.
Kim Fladhammer, kindergarten.
Tara Fosman, 1st grade.
Sheila Wilcox, librarian.
Lane McQueen, 2nd grade.
Alana Matz, 1st grade.
Andy Gross, 2nd grade at the Milton East Elementary.
Julie Snyder, library.
Lori Lipke, instructional aide.
Sandy Keyser, reading interventionist.
I'm Dale Langer, 3rd grade.
Bridget Terry, reading interventionist.
Jennifer Kramer, principal. I'm proud of you guys. Everyone followed the rules. So thank you. All right, as you can see, we're going to turn over to the slideshow. 1867, there was a desire amongst the villagers to construct one school. During that time, there was also a debate about the location. Many of the constituents here in Milton thought it should be where the current Black Hawk Tech building is. but Ezra Goodrich took it upon himself to not only be the superintendent of building this school in 1869, but it was his father's land, Joseph Goodrich, that had donated the land, and he just took it upon himself, and for $6,000 they built that structure right there in that picture. Next slide. It was called the Milton Graded School back when it was built, and in those pictures right there, it's in the footprint. Just to put it in perspective for you, that two-story structure is where our bus lane is right now. Does that make sense? So where we have that, where the buses come, the roundabout, I guess, in the front of Milton East, and the front of the school faced the north, so towards Madison, for anyone struggles with direction. So that was in 1869, and it was a K-12 building. Next slide. In the early 1900s, we quickly had outgrown, Milton East, and they had started putting an addition. So if you look at the picture on the right-hand side, when they added on to the building, if you can see Kim's cursor, in the back part right there, that's the addition, that two-story structure on the other side of the arch. And so what happened then, on that picture on the right, is that they changed the front of the building. And I know that because, number one, Doug Welch, thank you for the history lesson. But number two, there's letters above the arch that say 1905 in Roman numerals. And so they had added on, and that happened in 1905. The picture on the left is the addition, and currently that is still at Milton East, and that is where our kindergarten classrooms are and the gym. So they added on that back side of the two-story structure, and that was in the 1959-60. At the same time, over there, Marcia, on the west side of town, they did the same thing, if you remember from your homework. Next slide, please, Kim. Now, fast forwarding, the other thing I want to just mention for history purposes, but in 1965, when the Milton High School was built, currently standing in that place right now, Milton East then changed to a K-6 building, excuse me, and then that flat addition was built onto Milton East, but that two-story structure stayed there the entire time, and they did not demolish that two-story structure until 1968. So for 3 years, the current Milton East footprint and that two-story structure were there at the same time. All right, just push play. This is a drone that took a picture of Milton East as of 4 days ago, I guess. And when you look at it, you can see on the back side of the building, it's kind of hard to see. But we'll just go to the next slide, Kim. We're good. I think we'll get in the next. Nope, you can just go to the next. So this is Milton East as a few days ago. Mr. Langer took this picture for us. So here's that 1950, this is what they built on the first phase of the addition, our current kindergarten classrooms and gym. This is way too much information, but I'm telling you all anyway. This is the newer addition in 5960, and then back here you can see this is where our art, music, new classrooms, staff lounge, work area, and our library. I'm probably backwards, but yeah. Oh, you know what just happened? One of these people over here were saying that's where second grade will be because they're already trying to wonder and guess who will be in the new part. That's what just happened. I think what they thought was if I show up tonight, maybe I'll get some bonus points. Oh, okay. I got this. Okay. All right, moving on, Kim. One thing that has stayed consistent during all of this history that I've shared with you from the late 1800s up to today is this bell. And so a few years ago, Teresa Ruchet wrote a grant to move that bell. It used to be hugged tight up against Milton East, and she wrote a grant through the Milton Fund, and it's in front of our school, placed right there, and will continue to be there after our addition. Just a fun fact. Our school population, we are the largest elementary school here in Milton with currently 5 kindergarten sections and then 4 of each of the other. About 345 students, and we are beyond full. As you've heard stories of that, we've changed a lot of different closets into classrooms, etc. So next slide. Milton East has always been known for a very strong parents group, continues to be true today. Hosting events, as you see there in some pictures, our Color Run, Rock and Read, which was a combination of Milton East staff and then parents group. And then of course the most famous, can't really tell from that picture, but Santa Store. Next slide. And there's Mr. Gross behind bars. Milton East Carnival is always a fun event, cumulative at the end of the year. Here's a quote. I put out some feelers to get some, I thought what better way to learn about Milton East, not just me telling you, but hear from some of our families. So in 2012, our daughter started kindergarten at Milton East and continued through 3rd grade. During her years there, the staff made us feel like part of a family. Fast forward to this year, our son started kindergarten at East, and that same family atmosphere still exists today, and the staff has made us feel like we've never left. And I think that's a really true statement by many of our families, that they feel welcome at Milton East. Next slide. And of course there's the staff. One of the things that I know about this staff, having been a staff member as a FIAD teacher and then now principal, is that everybody's all in. And it doesn't matter if it's a fun event like you're seeing here, homecoming, Halloween, the Color Run. They're always all in, even problem solving to help some of our families and students. That's who they are. Next slide. Also, some things that the staff have done on their own is created an event bingo night. And what a great way to bring families into our school to help build that positive culture and make them feel welcome. We also this year did a family math night, which was a really great turnout and real fun to see. As you see the picture there on the right, families enjoying each other's company and learning as they were playing, didn't even know it. And then of course, many people have either attended or heard about, we have an annual Veterans Day program. Great way to bring community members into our buildings and share not only an important message, but then be able to see those adults talk to our students and our students show them the respect and pride that they have in this program with the songs they sing and the things they say. And then of course, don't forget about those blue notes from the Gathering Place. Another annual event, but we love to point out to the kids, we even dressed in blue this year for them. They have their blue vests, we wore our blue clothing, but it's always a great way for us to teach our kids that how important it is for not only us to share our talents with the adults that come into our school, but those adults sharing their talents back. And then to bring it full circle, you know, for our students, this event, Tara Huber had started, 3 years ago, Tara? Maybe 4? It's the senior walkthrough. So these students were, they're seniors now, of course, but they went to elementary school at Milton East, and they come walk our halls. And if you go to the next slide, just a few memories that just quick ones, heard from some of those students. They remember Mr. Bond being Zero the hero. That was before my time. Dropping eggs off the roof of the school, roller skating in gym class. I did live that. Presidential Fitness Awards with Mr. Leader. Swim and gym, which is something we continue to do. And then cleaning the erasers for the teachers as a reward. How tricky was that? If I would have known that when I was doing that over in Edgerton, that it was really not a reward, but anyway, moving on. And then before we start that, let's watch it and then we'll talk at the end.
I saw on the front of the building that it was made in 1959. Mrs. Kramer, the boss here, and she's in charge. This is very fun here, and we like it here at Milton East. They could know all the Eastway rules. That there's construction and out my window. Is really fun teachers and respectful teachers. I love no trees. It's really cool. You don't have to be shy. It's really easy to make friends. Everybody's really kind. Just be kind to them and they'll be kind. It's very fun. How great it was being here. But all the people and teachers are very nice. My friends and all the games we played outside. That you get Easter egg tickets and you have a good teacher. When the teacher sings to me so I could remember. I love all the teachers. I love all the classrooms. I love the art teacher. I love the music teacher. I love the gym teacher. Both of them. It's pretty cool, but we have games and all different kinds of stuff. We have books, we have the library, we have art, we have art and music and gym, and we have everything in this entire school. And we don't even get kids just try to learn here. The teachers, they learn, play with recess, and who knows?
So, I thought it would be a good idea for you guys to hear it not only from former students, the staff, but from the kids as well. And so a shout out to Renee Murphy and Leslie Brissett for helping me put that together. So good job, ladies. I tried to do it myself, and I would, hey, just tell me what you want people to know about Milton East. And then because I'm asking, they're all like, RRSK. Be respectful. Because they knew that's what I wanted to hear, and it wasn't quite as cute as you saw there. So moving to the last slide, just one other thing I think it's important to point out is the support that we've had from the school board, and in particular, Mr. Westrick. You've always been our representative in my time at Milton East, and we would like to thank you for coming to our events and showing support, whether it was our staff meetings or coming to our events before and after school, and always just asking and reaching out if we needed anything. So round of applause for Mr. Westrick. And I cut it down, it was an hour and a half, so good job.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Ms. Kramer.
Someone grab our lights, please.
And we will move along on our agenda. Update from, it says from Mike Huffman, from Huffman Facility Development, but I understand Mr. Huffman is not able to join us, so Steve Clavin is going to share with us the update referendum-wise. Thank you for coming, folks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Walk in the door when you get out of here.
That's a super hard act to follow.
Thank you so much.
But it is really exciting to be part of expanding and adding to East, and hoping that the construction work that's going to take place is going to expand that community even stronger. I'm Steve Clavin. I'm with Huffman Facility Development, representing the school district. And we've had a good few weeks since the holidays. I'll cover some of the work that's taken place recently, and then Scott and Dan will talk about the high school DD estimate. If you recall, back in November, we came to you with the results from the estimate for the middle school, and so tonight they'll be going over the results from the estimate on the high school. At East, the foundations are now complete, and the plumbing and electrical underground is also 100% complete, so we'll be seeing Cullen pouring that slab on grade hopefully this week. There's a little bit of snow to remove. And then after that, block walls will follow in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So good progress there. At West, foundations are also complete, and the underground is about 95%. The following week, Cullen will plan to pour that slab on grade. And then at Harmony, the site fence is up and foundation work is taking place there this week as well. All three projects are on schedule, so I'm happy to report that. Obviously at the middle school, the architect PRA is working on the construction documents, and those will be ready February 7th. And then this Thursday, the day after tomorrow, we'll have what's called a page turn at the district office for the middle school, where we'll bring in all the stakeholders and the design team, mechanical, electrical, plumbing engineers will go through each and every page, every detail, every room, just to make sure that the architect has the intent of what the stakeholders wanted incorporated in those documents. So it's a long session, but it's very productive because we get to take a look at what's in the design. So the other progress that's been made is we reached out back in December to a number of FF&E suppliers, furniture, fixtures, and equipment suppliers that supply schools with all of the furniture that you see around. We sent out an RFP. We got 11 responses on December 20th, and then we narrowed that down to 3 contractors that we wanted to take a closer look at. And the way that those folks ended up in the interview process was their deep resume with K-12 experience, and they also specifically addressed the construction schedule in their RFP responses. So they identified some key milestone dates, and they just kind of rose to the top as being with their experience and their interest in the contract. So last Thursday, we sat down and interviewed each one of those, and we're now checking references, and we'll have a recommendation shortly to determine who we'd like to bring on board to supply the fixtures, furniture, and equipment for the schools. Unless there are any other questions with that, I think I can turn this over to Scott and Dan to talk about the design development budget for the high school. Any questions? Scott.
Well, good evening. I think you've all had the design development drawing set, the big thick set of drawings that we sent out maybe about 4 weeks ago, I think. So you should have each received that electronically. Dan's got the drawings here. He's going to go through every one of those sheets individually tonight, just to make sure you understand. But the design, if you remember, the design development phase is the phase where we really get into our detail in our drawings. We've had a team of about 16 people, architects and engineers, working from the end of the SD phase through the DD phase to accomplish the difference between the SD drawings and the DD drawings that you see there. So it's been a lot of work that's been put in over the last 2.5 months to get to the point we're at today. So first of all, I'd like to ask, now that you've had the drawings for a while, hopefully you've had a chance to review those drawings, are there any questions on the drawings themselves, on the design, anything that you'd like us to further explain or discuss? You've gone through all the detail, right?
Page by page.
Page by page, all right. So, we have good news tonight. We are on budget. So we went through an exhaustive budget review. We spent, well, it was supposed to be done right before the holidays, but we felt that if we gave ourselves through the holidays for Dan to go through and do a little bit more digging, we would have a much better number, and we do. And we are right on the referendum budget for the high school project as we sent out to you about 4 weeks ago. So right now we're looking very, very good. Dan, is there anything you want to add to this?
Well, I did bring the visual, which was going to, this is what we had in October when we gave a number to you.
weighs about, I don't know, maybe a pound or so. We're guessing we got 40 pounds there. So that's just indicative of the work that Milton Racing has put into the plans. But the visual is also important to let you know that, we aren't just running stuff over and over again. When we got hold of that set of plans, we went back to subcontractors and we involved at least 40 trade contractors who were ones likely to bid on the job for us. We got help in most of the categories to put that on top of the numbers that we normally have in our database. Now, when we put it out for bid, many more than 40 will be looking at it, but these are 40 friendlies who are willing to help us. So we got good confirmation of what the market tells us the numbers are going to be. And the numbers are pretty darn close to where they were when we last gave you the number in October. So that makes me feel good and confident in what we're doing.
Reality, we talked about this at our team meeting last week, that this is actually a very good place to be. Normally at the design development phase, we're usually looking to cut things out of projects. Usually we're a little bit higher. We're a little bit beyond the budget. So we're in a very good place here, and I think we should all be proud of the hard work that Dan and his team have put in to verify that we've been maintaining the budget. Now, bids have to come in and to prove that out, but right now we're feeling very comfortable. So I know tonight we're looking for the approval to officially move into the construction documents phase, which is really that phase where we finish our work effort and get the drawings ready for bidding. We still have a long ways to go. We've got another 2 months or so to get these drawings ready for the bid market. But we're looking for your official approval of the DD set and the DD estimate.
Does anybody have any questions for Scott or Dan or anybody else relative to the design development documents for the high school? If there are none, I would like to entertain a motion to approve that and put those folks on their next task.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the design development phase for the Milton High School as presented and to authorize PRA to begin the construction documents phase.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Motion from Karen, seconded by Tom, as you just heard, to approve the design development phase for the high school plans. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Thank you, folks. Thank you, guys. Okay, that pushes us down our agenda to new business. Bear with me 1 second here. We are up to discussion and a possible action on resolution of the School District of Milton regarding administration of district bank accounts with First Community Bank relative to our business manager, Carrie Bradley. And there will be a subsequent action or discussion and possible action, same subject matter for the accounts at Bank of Milton. So this is an essential. I'll let Carrie explain to you what this does, but
it's pretty straightforward. What it is doing is allowing people that need to have access and inquire about the accounts and manage that money to have access to it as related to staffing changes.
Exactly. Yeah, I do, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution of the School District of Milton regarding administration of district bank accounts with First Community Bank.
Second.
Thank you. Motion from Diamond, seconded by Rick, to, as you just heard, to approve our bank accounts to be administered by the folks that need to do that. Any discussion on that? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. And as I indicated, the next one is very similar, but with the other bank we do business with, the Bank of Milton. Need a similar motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution of the School District of Milton regarding the administration of district bank accounts with Bank of Milton.
Second.
Thank you. Motion from Rick, seconded by Karen, to do the same formality here to approve folks in our administrative group that need to access bank accounts there with respect to the Bank of Milton. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Rolling on, Mr. Bill Horn, you are up. possible action on extended travel requests.
All right, we have two other groups that did not get the original batch, but we have the French trip going to France this summer, and then the super mileage vehicle. They have two competitions they're going to do, both requiring overnight travel that will happen this spring. That's Alyssa Bratz and Ben Freilich, their groups, taking kids overnight.
French group in need of a chaperone, though? Just putting it out there.
Yeah. That's all I know.
I make a motion we accept and approve the extended travel request.
I'll second it. Thank you. Motion from Tom, seconded by Mike, to approve the travel requests for our enterprising high school students. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Safe travels, kids. Okay. Item D on new business is drawing of lots for ballot order for spring primary. As most of you are aware, we have 5 candidates for the 2 ballots, or 2 ballots, for the 2 board seats, which does trigger a primary for us. Spring primary date is February 18th. We have a
That's called being voluntold.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that term.
Voluntold, yeah. So first on the ballot list.
Mike Hoffman.
Second.
Shelley Kroll. Chuck Jackson. David Holterman. Karen Hall.
Thank you.
Okay, and that's the order that the names will appear on the ballot for the spring primary.
For the spring primary, correct. Just
Correct.
a note, because we have more than 2 candidates per seat, we have to hold a primary. That will be February 18th. That's a Tuesday. Please remember to vote. And the regular spring election will be April 7th. The 4 top vote getters will go forward to the regular spring election.
And am I correct, Tim, we'll redraw for a ballot order for the
Yes.
actual election? Yeah.
Correct, yes.
Okay. Okay, very good. Best of luck for all candidates involved.
I know there will be a candidates forum. I haven't heard a date on that yet, but
Do they have one for the primary? I know Danny wasn't
Yeah.
100% sure, but.
Yes, we have a meeting for the chamber on Wednesday about the forum, so it's up and coming.
So stay tuned. Okay, item E, new business, is action on 2019-2020 open enrollment alternative applications. Kim?
we have one transferring in from the parochial school and one transferring out.
Okay.
I make a motion we accept the open enrollment applications as presented.
Second.
Thank you. I got Mike beat you by just a hair. So motion from Tom, seconded by Mike, to approve the open enrollment applications, 1 student in, 1 student out, as you heard. Any discussion? All in favor of that motion signify.
I have a
I'm sorry?
question. Our transfer out, is that currently one of ours that we count now or not?
No, homeschool.
Homeschool? Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, I should have paused. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the open enrollment alternative application signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion clearly passes. Which pushes us to miscellaneous, the staffing report, which you have in front of you.
I'll make a motion to approve the staffing reports as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Motion from Rick, seconded by Karen, to approve the staffing report. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion also passes. Gifts and donations.
I would like to make a motion to approve gifts of $10,489.41 with gratitude.
Second.
Thank you. Motion from Mike, seconded by Diamond, to approve, with the gratitude of the board and basically the entire district, the support of our community at large. It's tremendous what they do for us on an annual basis. $10,489 for this month, or this meeting at least. Any questions on those? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Gratefully accept the gifts and donations. Meeting dates. Mr. Dahman, what is on our agenda?
We have a couple things coming up that are scheduled. January 15th, which is this Wednesday, a policy committee meeting, 5 o'clock at the district office. Again, that's policy committee meeting, January 15th at 5 o'clock. January 27th is the regular school board meeting at 6:30 here. We need to schedule a finance committee meeting, so finance committee members, I'm not sure what your schedules look like, but we should get that in sometime soon. And I don't know if you want to talk through some dates right now, or just send an email out and wait for responses.
The third one. Joe, what do we got, guys?
Well, next week we have the school board convention, so I'll go on that.
Want to do
No,
4 and 7 for board meeting?
Can we do that, Rich, or how long a meeting
How long
do
is
you
the
want?
meeting?
What would you anticipate? An hour do it?
I think an hour will do it.
Would that work for you guys?
An hour before the next meeting.
5:30 on the 27th?
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
And then the one other upcoming item for the school board, is the state education convention, which is next week, January 22nd, 23rd in Milwaukee. I think that Kim had said that she had heard back from all board members are planning to attend. Is that? And maybe we can stay for a minute after this meeting and talk through commuting and travel logistics, rather than trying to sort it out
Sure.
later. Everybody stay for a minute or two and we talk about travel logistics for next week.
Yep.
That's all we have.
do so.
Coming up.
Coming up, okay.
Should we schedule it right now?
I don't have, the next 2 weeks are a little iffy.
So it'll be after the next board meeting sometime?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, good on dates? Okay, that exhausts our regular agenda. We are going to go, or propose to go to an executive session here to do our superintendent evaluation. So, I will need a motion of such pursuant to state statute 19.85, subsection 1, sub C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Karen, seconded by Mike, to move us into executive session. Roll call, please. Tom?
Yes.
Diamond?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Joe is yes. Karen?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
And Rick?
Yes.
7-0, we are in executive session. Thank you for coming. We do not plan to reconvene in open.